Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. There has been quite an interesting development. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Cannot do this without you guys. Thank you so much for the support. It is truly appreciated. So just a very quick news update today. Cloud Imperium have just announced the introduction of a new testing group that they say will focus on feature and bug testing designed to gather rapid, focused feedback on critical game systems through highly focused short burst sessions. Now, just like the Evocati group, this will be under an NDA and will be carefully selected players based on their activity and other patches and reporting of bugs and so on. And as much as the Evocati content is under NDA in relation to sharing our experiences and patch notes, obviously they recently laxed up the Evocati NDA, allowing us to actually discuss this stuff. For this testing focus group, it'll be kind of what Evocati used to be in how strict it is, with no external discussions being allowed. Now, it does say that these tests will focus on specific systems or mechanics that require immediate, concentrated feedback and will likely be at irregular intervals based on development needs with short notice periods. Now, this is very interesting to see. Of course, they used to have Evocati, then they kind of relaxed the whole NDA. It feels like now they're kind of having to bring that back and want to handpick the most useful players that they can. And of course, they didn't specify exactly what these handpicked players will be testing, but I think it is fair to say that with so many large, very impactful game mechanics getting to the point where they can begin to roll out, chances are that will be their main focus. More on that in a second. Now, although with Squadron 42 still set to release next year, no, it hasn't been delayed, not yet anyway, can still happen, this group of testers could be eventually used to QA Squadron. Now, I personally don't think that is the intention with this group. I think it is mostly PU related, more to hyper-focus on parts of certain gameplay mechanics coming along potentially this year, but most definitely next. I think there is a chance that they could use this to test Squadron in a way that doesn't reveal too many gameplay storylines and test other various mechanics that are shared between the Persistent Universe and Squadron 42. But regardless, there are many features that I certainly expect them to use this group to test, as there are a lot of mechanics that are heavily in the works, many of which are progressing to the end of their development phase and getting set up to be player-facing, with things like UI and polishing and tutorials. Now, these include things like engineering and all that entails, with the fire hazard system, life support, UI and diagnostic screens, hacking, lots of AI stuff, as we have seen with the tech preview recently, item recovery, crafting, base building, all of the many flight updates like control surfaces, quantum travel, the IFCS toggles, radars, scanners, and the refactored signature system for both flight and FPS, the new mission system version 2.0, Planet Tech version 5, the Nix system, and at some point in the future, of course, Castra and Terra. There are changes to spawning that might need testing, Maelstrom, the physical damage system, plus more that I'm sure I'm forgetting. Oh, Starware, that might be one as well. Now, many of these systems or mechanics intertwine and depend on each other in order to roll out and work as intended. For example, the flight mechanics will be impacted by engineering, as component malfunctions will alter how your ship flies. All components will give off their own unique signatures like EM and IR, and that will tie into the new signature system. And both will need to be able to pick up on those signatures and present that information to the players. Hacking will also require engineering, as players will be able to gain access to these systems and maybe shut them down and open doors and so on. Not to mention how Maelstrom, the physical damage system, will just play its role in all of this. Now, there is a lot of very deep, important, and connected mechanics that will drastically impact how the game plays, how it feels, and it will need to be accurate and balanced, otherwise it can completely break the game. So I suspect one of the main reasons for these focus testing groups is to help test these systems in isolation first, maybe in various areas like just testing the fire mechanics, just testing life support, for example, provide feedback, report on bugs, and continue testing to get them out quicker and less broken. Now, that's not to say that every one of those mechanics I mentioned there will need this kind of testing, But for many of them, they certainly will, and will certainly benefit from this. And although it might be a bit too late this year to push out these major features, albeit it's not really their focus this year anyway, but next year, these mechanics are going to start rolling out. And here's hoping that this kind of focus testing can help them come along quicker, help them come along without as many issues, so that when they get into our hands on the PTU, and live of course, there are less problems. Now that is what I suspect this testing group is going to be used for. Again, it could be used for Squadron. That is certainly not out of the realm of possibility. But for me, I'm very excited to see Cloud Imperium getting things ready to really test this stuff more thoroughly before it gets to the wider audience. Now, I've always felt it's a bit of a shame that NDAs are needed, as I do miss those good old days where everything was just open for us to see, but I do get the reasons for them putting it behind closed doors, and hopefully it can speed up the process. Now, of course, this is all just guesswork at this time, as Cloud Imperium are yet to specify exactly what they are planning to use it for, or when they're going to start using it. But with it being very hush-hush and under NDA, they might not tell us beyond what they have said here, although I am sure someone somewhere will let it slip. Now, it will be interesting to find out whether it's something that they are going to start using for, say, engineering, before pushing it into the tech preview build. Will it be a this year thing that they put the focus group to work, or are they planning it more to be a next year thing? Of course, they've still got to send out those emails and recruit the people, so it's not like it's something that can just instantly start out. Who knows? Anyway, do let me know your thoughts on this, and if you are buying anything from the IMPOUND, be sure to use my link, as it will get you 5% off, but also it does provide my channel with a direct kickback, helping to support my work, and it is much appreciated. If you do enjoy my videos, please do consider subscribing and helping the channel to grow. Also, come and hang out over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother, or here on YouTube. I stream to both. We have a big org op going on today. It is going to be a lot of fun. And if you are brand new to the game, it is a great place to ask your questions. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, just the channel a big favour. Tick that notification bell if you'd like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.